So I thought I would start the video with a shot of my office view, and there's the meeting room and the table, and I thought I'd show you my attire today. It's early morning still, so it's quite cool, but yeah, I will be these flip-flops and my shorts will be enjoyed today. It's going to get very warm. Yeah, and now on to the video. So I've just shot a video about shortages and price rises and the current economic situation that we're all facing. And the video is a little long-winded, and I thought I wasn't getting to the point quick enough. But maybe I will publish it anyway, because at least it's real, and I do make the point. It's just a little longer than I expected. But I thought I would try and summarize in this video and see if I can do a better job here. Okay, so let's go. So we're all facing increased costs. We're told in the news media that there are shortages, and there are increased costs because of we're in a post-pandemic time, and also because of the war in Ukraine. Now, these events, the 2 years of house arrest we've all been under for the last 2 years, and the Ukraine war, yes, these events will have had an impact on supply chains, and they will have had a knock-on effect, increasing costs for some industries, for some products and services. Yes, we can explain why that would be the case. But today, the continued forecast of increasing costs and the increased lack of some raw materials, that doesn't fully make sense. Businesses will have been, they will have had plenty of time to think about their business operations over the last 2 years of house arrest, and businesses will have adjusted, and they will have planned to take full advantage of a post-COVID environment, which is now what we're in. So you'd have expected some prosperity and growth, actually. But yes, that would have been hindered by some supply chains that have to gear up once again, have to pick up momentum. So there would have been, a 1 to 6 months period where supply chains were once again gearing up and making their adjustments. And yes, there would have been some price action around raw materials and manufacturing in supply chains, but that again would have been, all sort of gone through the wash within a month to 6 months. So right now, in May 22, in May 1922, in 2022, we should be seeing this lift and this prosperous projection. But instead, we're not getting that. We're getting the exact opposite. We're getting increased prices, and we're getting some very nasty vectors that indicate that more money is going to be removed from the man in the street's pocket. Everything's more expensive, less money, less disposable income. So this is the mood music of the economic landscape that we're all facing. Now, someone like me, a business consultant, I'm supposed to understand what all this means, and I'm supposed to be able to take a view on what a business should do and what it should do for the future. and also to understand risk, etc. Now, because of what I've just said, someone like me will be taking a view there is another there's something else here that's impacting these price rises and shortages and things like interest rates going up and inflation. There is a if you like, a hidden hand here. There's a hidden something else that's having an effect here. And I believe that thing is the monetary system that we all use: the US dollar, the euro, the pound, etc. The fiat, the based money systems that we use around the world. All the major central banks that issue currency around the world. Today, they're all sort of interlinked via trading arrangements between different countries and different currencies. So we can view it all really as as the money system, with different versions: the dollar, pound, euro, etc. What I think is really happening is that the powers that be, it benefits them if we... Okay, let me word it this way. For our money system to function and for everyone to benefit from a functioning monetary system, we need to have an economic reset. And this time, the economic reset that we need is we need to remove some of this capital in the monetary, in the public's hands. Basically, we need to make everyone poor. This reset that I believe we're going through is going to be achieved by making people poor again. And I haven't explained that very well. In another video, I've explained the things that you need for a monetary system to work. Number one, lots of people to use it. Number two, the ability to force the use of it. What this does is it forces people to go out and sell their labour for economic activity. And long story short, that's how you have an economic environment, a business environment. It's how you trade with each other. It's how you trade internationally. It's how a country trades internationally. It's how your currency has value and you're able to buy a product or service. But for that to keep working, most of your users of that currency have to be poor. What gives a currency value is the demand for it. And also, I am actually explaining how it works, but I also can hear that the implications of what I'm saying, and I'm trying to pull those. I don't want to sound too scary or too woo-woo, because that doesn't help anyone either. But for a monetary system to work, most of the people using that currency need to be poor. Long story short, that creates economic activity and stabilizes a currency. It allows people to go to work, sell their labor, and buy food and put a roof over their head. So essentially, that's how our modern day society works. But for this to continue working, it needs to be reset roughly every 10 years. And believe it or not, if you look at modern history, if you look at economic modern history, sure enough, between every 10, 15 years, there is an economic reset. And each of those resets has involved taking money back off people, making the majority of people poor again. And I believe that's exactly what's happening today. I know it sounds terrible and, concerning, and I don't want it to scare people, because the positive is that it might be that this is the best of bad options. Believe it or not, this is the best of. This is as good as it gets. I can't believe I've said that, because many people will be thinking, what? It can always be better than this. But it's a really big discussion, because we have to look at lots of macro subjects that are difficult to discuss. But at some point I will talk about all of these. Anyway, I believe that we're in an economic reset now, and this is a bad one, and it probably needs to happen so that fiat monetary systems can continue working. It sounds terrible. I know what I'm saying sounds terrible, but I believe that what we are hearing in the news, what we're seeing, I think there is an element of this being determined, and it's being determined for a greater good, and that greater good is the stability of these money systems that we use around the world. So I think it can be explained, and I think that is the reason why it's happening. So I know this is a bit glum today, and I apologise for that, but yeah, I'll come back to this subject. I hope that this is of some interest, and I'm aware that I probably haven't explained it very well, so I will come back to it. Anyway, I encourage everyone to stay positive. Let's continue to take a positive outlook, because the negative doesn't work either. There's no point being pessimistic and negative and creating witch hunts and pointing the finger and blame the whole time. That won't get us anywhere. What we do have to do is find solutions that are better, that makes our lives better, that makes the world a better place, and that's what we need to head for. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Maybe I'll add the other video as well, or maybe put this on before the video. I don't know. So perhaps after this will be the original video, or before this will be the original video. I don't know how much I want to torture everyone. But anyway, I'll leave this video there, and I hope everyone's well, and speak again.